when I say that literally it's been probably over a year since I've sat in front of a camera and just kind of talked. Yeah, it's about to be probably like approaching a year and a half, and it's a little weird. Not even gonna lie, I gotta like get my zhuzh back, you know. But no, I like, okay, so I just want to rewind for a second. Like, I just want to go back for a second because I've taken such a big step back, and I just like put everything down. And well, at first it wasn't by choice. At first it was because of Corona, and I had all these plans, and she was like, no, no, sit down. And even like throughout the year, especially like kind of towards later in the year, like I kept trying to like do different things, or make certain things happen, or come up with these new like schemes and business plans and whatever, right? But between Corona and God, they were like, no, no ma'am, no ma'am, it's time for you to sit down. You need to sit down somewhere. And so, like I said, at first it was not by choice. I had to take a seat, a hard seat, okay? But probably since January, I've more purposefully taken a step back, and just put everything down and said, you know what, like, God, I'm so done. I am so done. I am so done trying to do it my way. I'm so done trying to think that like I know best, or like I am doing it your way, but I'm really not. Like, when I really sit back and think about it, I'm not considering you in anything that I'm doing. It's not, it's all a very like cerebral thing. It's all about like logic and what makes sense, and trying to use that like in combination with what I'm passionate about or what I want to pursue, right? So yeah, like instead I've been doing some really deep digging. I've been really evaluating. I've been reevaluating a lot of things of like, where am I? How did I get here? Where, like, really reevaluating my relationship with God, and like where he fit in my life. Like, where was I even putting him in my life? Like, yeah, and no, at the time, like I wasn't even really going to church because the churches were closed and stuff. So it's just like, it's not even a thing of like, yeah, I go to church. Like, maybe I was like watching services online, or like me and my family were having Bible studies like here and there throughout last year. But I'm just like, you're not where you used to be with God. Like, that intimacy you used to have with him, like, it's not there anymore. So that's what I've been really focusing on. So anyway, I'm just like really full of just words, and I'm gonna try to like calm myself down so I can get like one point across, just one like topic, I guess, across today for now. And I'm not sitting here for 3 hours because honestly I'm supposed to be working, but I'm taking a little break. But yeah, so all right, one thing that I have been doing is like reevaluating my worth, and where is that rooted? Where does that come from? Like, where am I getting my validation from? And a lot of the times it used to come from my achievements, awards, and things like that. You know, like growing up, I was that student, like that star student, that one that was like, oh, she gonna be like something, she gonna go and be great, like, you know, always getting awards, always standing out academically. Like, that was me. And so that's where my validation came from. So when I didn't have that anymore, that definitely like it, I think it like really I took a big hit to my like self-esteem, and I felt like really lost, because like the foundation of my worth and the way that I saw myself and my value, it was like tied up in stuff that was really outside of myself, right? And not in a good way. So that's one of the things that I have been like journeying through, I guess, or that's what you want to call it. So as I'm going back through the Bible, so I'm really like studying the Bible, like not just like reading it or just like reading scriptures here and there, but like really studying the Bible, right? And first of all, it's fascinating. I can't get enough. I'm like obsessed, right? But as I was going, when I was in Exodus and I'm reading this dialogue, so I get to the part where God is telling Moses, hey, okay, listen, Moses, which, let me pause for a second because I gotta make this point. Moses was a murderer, right? He had just killed some people. He had killed some Egyptians because they were like beating on some Hebrews or whatever. So he got mad, he killed them. He thought people didn't know. He found out that they did know, right? So he was like, I gotta get out of here. Like, somebody gonna be coming trying to take me out, so I gotta go. So literally, Moses was a murderer, and he's in hiding in another town at this point. So let me just set the stage for you for a second. So then God comes, that's when he has this whole like burning bush experience, whatever, and like God is like, hey, listen, Moses, I'm gonna need you to go to Pharaoh, and I'm gonna need you to tell him he need to let my people go. Like this whole like nation of Israel that's like growing within Egypt, I'm gonna need you to tell him he gonna have to let these people go. Even though they're the backbone of the Egyptian society and like the workforce and all that, he gonna have to let them go, right? So Moses is like, yeah, I don't know if you know like who I am, like I don't know if you know like what I've done, but yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do that. And God is like, yeah you are, yeah, you actually. And Moses is like, nah, see, like I don't speak that well, and you whatever. So anyways, I'm reading this dialogue, and then all of a sudden I get this urge to write, right? Because at the same time, I'm also already journeying through like my redefinition of like my worthiness, right? And me being like capable of certain things, or me being enough. So as I'm reading this, I'm just like, whoa, and I have like this revelation, and I just start writing. So this is what I write, and I just want to share this with y'all. So this is what I wrote. This is like maybe a month or so ago, I don't know. So it's titled You Are Enough, and it's referring to Exodus I think 4, like 11 through 22, whatever. So it says, who am I that God would use me? I am not blank enough. I can't do it. He can't use me. Far too often we are called to something, and this is our response. We think others will say, who do I think I am? Well, number one, you're a child of God. You are worthy simply because he made you. And number two, our strength, power, abilities, skill sets are of no importance to God. Yes, he honors being diligent in your craft, but if he can use a rock to cry out and worship, how much more can he use you if you are willing? If you are willing. Not if you are able. Willingness, that's the key, and it's so liberating. Because imagine if the opposite were true. Imagine that we had to work our way to worthy before we could be used. What does that even look like? How can we, mere dust, ever accomplish anything that is worthy enough for God? It's impossible. If he tells us we can't work our way to heaven, I would imagine the same principle applies to being used here on earth. And that's freeing. No longer do I have to strive for perfection, keep quiet out of intimidation, or even carry on like I have the perfect vision for my life and I'm out here grinding to make it happen. No. All I have to do is humble myself and my life before God. Ask him to empty my vessel and use it as he pleases. How else can we find complete fulfillment of our life's work if we don't involve the one who gave us life? Now I'm gonna say that again because that was a whole word, and I wrote that and I was like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna read it one more time, all right? How else can we find complete fulfillment of our life's work if we don't involve the one who gave us life? Y'all chew on that for a little bit. Just chew on that for a little bit. So remember, God doesn't call the equipped, prepared, or perfect, but yet equips the humble, empty, and willing vessel. So it's not even a matter of who am I, but rather who is working in and through me. And when you get that, when it really clicks for you and you see yourself, you will see yourself differently. We are all seeking validation, approval, love, acceptance to feel worthy. Seen, heard. Okay, wait on, let me read it again. We are all seeking validation, approval, love, acceptance, to feel worthy, seen, heard. And you already have it. It's not because of anything you've done, and nothing you've done can take away your worth and value either, so stop it. You are worthy, valuable, loved, adored. You are enough and able to be you simply because you are, simply because he made you. Just be and be in him, and stop only honoring the doing. And that, like, when I said, I was just like writing, because that was me. Like, I felt like I needed to constantly like doing or like working, and even if I wasn't really like producing or making headway, like as long as I was doing something, as long as I was in motion, I felt like I was good. I felt like I was in some way like working towards something. I felt like I was doing my part, right? When that's not really how it works. Like, I feel like I've had, it's like a slight change in perspective, but it's profound. So instead of trying to basically go out here and grind and like make these opportunities happen and all these things, first we must sit still. First we must quiet ourselves. First we must empty our vessel and say, you know what? It's not even about me. Like, here, God, I lay it all out. Like, my life, my purpose, my dreams, my visions, my whatever. You can have it, all of it. All I want is your will. That's step one, right? So we do that, and then once we quiet ourselves, once we still ourselves, once we like die to our flesh and like our egos, then he can fill us. Then he can give us vision. Then he can give us purpose. Then he can we can start recognizing these opportunities that he's like placing in front of us, or he can even give us the opportunities, because before we were so busy off over here running, doing our own thing, that we weren't even available to step into what he has for us, right? So that's step one, is just laying it all out there. Then God can give us those like little nuggets, right? And once you start getting those little nuggets, then you go hard. Then you grind, because now you're grinding for purpose. Now you're grinding in the will of God, right? Not just out of something that just, I don't know, sounds good to you, or will look good for Instagram, or you know, whatever, or will make you money. Like, it's not like just a logical, cerebral process, right? So that whole idea of like just being still and just feeling worthy, just because you are, not because of what you're doing, not because of what you've achieved, or any like success that you've amassed, like just because you are, like just because he made you, like that's so foundational, right? And for me, and I think for a lot of people, and that's why we end up like seeking worth and validation and other things, because we don't have that one foundational component that we are worthy and enough, just because he made us, just because we have breath in our bodies, right? So then let me read this to y'all, because I thought it was like absolutely hilarious. This one part. So all right, this is in Exodus, right? Exodus 4:10. So this is this like dialogue between like Moses and God, when he's just like, yeah, I can't do it. So it says, then Moses said to the Lord, oh my Lord, I am not eloquent, neither before nor since you have spoken to your servant, but I am slow of speech and slow of tongue. Listen to what God said to him, right? He got him together real quick. He said, so the Lord said to him, who has made man's mouth, or makes the mute, the deaf, the seeing, or the blind? Have not I, the Lord? He said, okay, this is what I wrote. God said, stop worrying about what it say when I'm the one who made your mouth. Like, stop it. Like, stop it. Today and right now, this is what we're going to do, me and you, right? This is what we're going to do. We are going to stop even considering the idea or considering the question, am I enough? Because first of all, that's not even a question from God. Let's just start that. That's not even a question from God. That is a question from the enemy, because you know what? Anytime that question is posed, the answer will never be yes. It will never be yes, because even if you are at a level 3, right, and then you'll be like, well, you know, I guess you thought maybe you thought that you were doing good, you thought you were great, right? But if somebody poses that question to you, then you're gonna be like, well, yeah, I mean, I guess I could be like at a level 5, at least 5.5, right? So then you work a little bit harder, you get to level 5, 5.5, and then the question is posed to you again, are you enough? And then you're like, well, I mean, I thought maybe like when I got here, but I guess I would be a little bit better if I was at least a 7, right? So it's a never-ending cycle of working, and it's a never-ending cycle of not feeling like you're living up to something, whatever it is, right? So let's just start there. That's not even a question that God would pose to you. It's not, because he made you enough. It's kind of redundant for him to ask you, are you enough, or to even pose that to you. He wouldn't do that. He's not like some guy who's gonna play mind games with you. So let's just start there. So we are not even going to consider the question, am I enough, anymore. That's out the window. We are only going to consider the question, am I empty? Am I empty? What's my heart posture? Is my heart posture saying, here God, I lay it all out? I came across this word. It's in the Bible, and it's actually like it's a response. 𝙗𝙗𝙖𝙪𝙩𝙞𝙛𝙪𝙡𝙮. Look, 𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙪, I think it's a beautiful word, right? And the whole essence of the word is like it was said in response to God in the Bible. So God would call out to these individuals and they would respond, 𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙗. And so, like I said, the essence of the word is, you know what, God, I know that you're calling me. I don't even know what you're calling me for, and it doesn't even matter, because I'm here, I'm willing, I'm ready. You can send me, no reservations, no hesitations. That's the essence of the word. And I think that it's such a beautiful word, right? And that should be our heart posture. And I pray it all the time. I'm just like, you know what, here I'm here, God. Like, I'm here. Use me however you want to use me. Like, I'm emptying myself. I'm putting to the side certain things. Like, I am making space. I am making room for you in my life. And I just want you to use me however you want to use me. Right? So that should be our question. Are we empty? What is our heart posture? Is your heart posture, you know what, God, it's not even about me. It's about you. Right? I know that you put certain desires in me, and I know that you put them there for a reason, so that I know that they will be fulfilled, because you put them there. You caused me to desire certain things because that's a part of my purpose. That's a part of, like, you know, where I'm going to walk. That's a part of my life's path, right? You put those desires in me for a reason, but I need you to help me to see that to its highest fulfillment, right? So no more of this, like, am I enough? That's not even a question we're going to pose no more. We're just going to say, am I empty? Let that be like a daily question for you. Like, am I empty? How can I empty myself more? Like, how can I, like, die to myself? And, like, how can I stop? What are things that I can do to stop living in the flesh and start living more in the spirit, right? So I just wanted to share that with y'all. I'm not going to sit here and talk for 10 hours. Like I said, I'm supposed to be at work. I'm on the clock, but it's okay. That's okay. We real slow. But yeah, so I hope that, like, bless somebody. And yeah, make sure, listen, no more. We're not even asking no more. Okay? That's gone. It don't even matter, because it's not even about you. It's not even about if you're enough. Right? We're not asking it no more. We're just asking, am I empty?